All right. I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight for the... Why? Sergio's in a hurry. We're okay. We're good, Paul? Okay. I'd like to welcome everybody to the February 8th, 2022 special meeting of the Guyman Utilities Authority. That's what we'll start with tonight.
Oh, we're starting with you, sir.
Oh, wait. What did I tell you, Larry?
You said?
Oh, wait, I said, we're going to change our mind, because that's got the reports at the end.
Yeah, and it's got
We're going to go back to the
proclamation. Yeah.
Okay. We're going to go to the regular meeting of the Guyman City Council, excuse me. Since we got some youngsters here that need to get to the ball game. All right, want to welcome everybody. So at this time, I'd like to ask Pastor Craig Shepherd of the Guyman Church of the Nazarene to come up to the podium and give our invocation.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for this day and for your love for us. We pray this evening for our city council members that you would guide them and direct them, that you would give them wisdom beyond their comprehension. Father, for us as a community of Guyman, that you would give us the courage to be people of love and respect, people that would reflect you in our world. We thank you so much for the opportunity to be a part of this community and this state and this nation. We pray your blessing upon her. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Mr. Alvidrez, will you lead us in the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call this meeting to order. Agenda item number 2 is attendance roll call.
Peterson,
Here.
Swager,
Here.
Alvidrez,
Present.
Setzer,
Present.
Sanchez,
Here.
Mr. Petty,
Here.
Hoffman, Mike Shannon.
All righty. Agenda item number 3 is we're going to do a proclamation declaring the week of February 7th through 11th as Business Professionals of America Week. So I know we've got some folks here, so if, Ms. Bainey, if all your kids would like to come up front and kind of line up, we'll do this. And I'll let you introduce each one of them before we do the proclamation, so everybody will know who they are.
You guys will each take turn introducing yourself.
I'm Hunter Harris, senior at Guyman, computer science student at Invocation.
I'm Madison Sullivan, junior at Guyman High School.
I'm Jose Castro, sophomore at Invocation High School. I'm Connor Jenkins, I'm a senior at Guyman High School in the current PPA Center.
I'm Mary Amata, I'm a junior at Guyman High School, and I'm the current vice president of PPA.
I'm Ms. Farrell, I'm a senior at Guyman High School, and I'm the current PPA president.
I'm Emma Montgomery, I am a junior at Guyman High School.
I'm Tracy Hill, I'm a senior at Guyman High School, and I currently lead the Guyman PPA Department of Art.
And you are.
Oh, I'm Mrs. Beatty, Summer Beatty, I teach computers, web design, review, graphics,
Okay. Proclamation, whereas the school is concerned with the business education and training of students for productive, satisfying careers, and whereas Business Professionals of America is recognized by the United States Department of Education as a national career and technical student organization and an integral part of career and vocational technical education. And whereas Business Professionals of America has members in 23 states preparing for careers as tomorrow's business professionals, and whereas Business Professionals of America is helping to develop leadership abilities, competency in business, information technology, and office occupations, and interest in the American business system. Therefore, I, Kim Peterson, Mayor of the City of Guyman, and the City Council do hereby proclaim the week of February 7th through 11th, 2022 to be Business Professionals of America Week in the city of Guyman, state of Oklahoma. This is given under my hand and seal of the city of Guyman, Oklahoma, this 8th day of February, 2022. So I'll come out there and give this to you. And we will finish recognizing you fine folks. You're the president, right? All right. You get it. Thank you all. Congratulations. Have a great week. Do that. Thank you all for coming. Thank you. We have time for a picture. And the council can stand up behind you and you get in the picture. Good job. I want you to stand up. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I tried to speed up there. More fast than I could.
Oh, you're good.
Agenda item number 4 is approval of the consent agenda.
Make a motion, we approve the consent agenda item 4.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Swager.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Setzer.
Aye.
Sanchez. Aye. Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Okay, we're going to go through a string of these, and the next several agenda items are all related to the exact same thing, so I'm probably not going to read every word of it. You can read it on the board if you'd like. Agenda item number 5 is discussion and possible action to approve ordinance number 879, an ordinance amending the employment retirement system defined contribution plan for the city of Guyman and the Guyman Utility Authority of Oklahoma by adopting a revised and restated retirement plan, providing retirement benefits for eligible employees of the city of Guyman and Guyman Utility Authority of Oklahoma, providing for purpose and organization, providing for definitions, providing for eligibility and participation, providing for non-alienation of benefits, providing for employer and employee contributions, providing for accounting, allocation, and valuation, providing benefits, providing for required notice, providing for amendments and termination, providing for transfer to and from other plans, creating a retirement committee, and providing for powers, duties, and rights of retirement committee, providing for payment of certain obligations, providing for duration and payment of expenses, providing for effective date, providing for vesting schedules, providing for a fund to finance the system to be pooled with other incorporated cities, towns, and their agencies, and instrumentalities for purpose of administration, management, and investment as part of the Oklahoma Municipal Retirement Fund, provided for payment of all contributions under the system to the Oklahoma Municipal Retirement Fund for management and investment, providing for repealer and severability, and adopting those amendments mandatory by the Internal Revenue Code and declaring an emergency. And materials to substantiate those are attached. Mr. Shannon, would you like to give us a brief synopsis?
I certainly would. Just what you read, Mayor, is just basically housekeeping things that the Oklahoma Municipal Retirement Fund has to do every year. And this took care of that. And a lot of it, with the next 3, item numbers 5, 6, and I believe it's 7. Number 6, I'll just go The only difference between, on number 6 is for the city manager to allow him to invest not in the Oklahoma Municipal Retirement, but into another entity, basically.
On 5?
Number 6.
Oh, okay.
Where's, he's just kind of going overall.
Oh, right.
And my question was to the retirement people, was that when another city manager comes on board here soon, I said, is that going to cause a problem? And she said, well, no, we'll have to have another amendment to the ordinance to allow him to go ahead, basically.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? It's just, like I said, mostly housekeeping to start with.
I'll make a motion that we approve ordinance number 879, item 5.
I second.
Have a motion and a second.
Setzer.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Swager.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Agenda item number
We need
6.
declared emergency.
Oh, excuse me.
Make a motion we declare it an emergency, item 5.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to declare an emergency.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Setzer.
Aye.
Swager.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Okay, agenda item 6 is basically all the same things. There might be a few other little words in there. Mike, you
Yeah,
want to?
the number 6 is the one that basically allows the city manager to opt out and go to another, or
Another
department
retirement.
head or the city manager go out to another.
Another retirement fund? Okay. Any question, discussion?
I'll make a motion that we approve ordinance number 880, item 6.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Swager.
Aye.
Setzer.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
I'll make a motion we declare item 6 an emergency.
I'll second that.
Have a motion second to declare emergency.
Setzer.
Aye.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Swager.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Okay, agenda item number 7 is discussion and possible action to approve ordinance number 881, and it's basically the same thing. What's the difference in it, Mike?
It's basically, this will go to the IRS certifying that we've adopted the front two of the previous ones. And with all the new IRS rules and regulations coming out in this year, so everything's current.
Okay. Any questions or discussion?
I'll make a motion we approve ordinance number 881, item 7.
I'll
Go ahead.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second.
Swager.
Aye.
Setzer.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Make a motion we declare item 7 an emergency.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to declare an emergency.
Setzer.
Aye.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Swager.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
All right, agenda item number 8 is discussion and possible action to approve a budget amendment number 1 for Fund 12, Pool and Recreation, for an increase of $639. Staff report is attached.
Mayor, at the end of the 2021 year, basically, we're wrapping up 2021. The swimming pool itself basically overspent $639, so we have to do an amendment to that. And it was simple, it was some utilities and some capital outlay on a diving board and some ADA requirements that we had to do, that wasn't budgeted, basically.
Any discussion, questions?
Make a motion that we approve budget amendment number 1 for Fund 12, Pool Recreation, increase of $639, item 8.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Setzer.
Aye.
Swager.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Agenda item number 9 is discussion and possible action to approve budget amendment number 2 for Fund 18, the Library Fund, for an increase of $9,152.
Blair, do you want to say that? I'll just go ahead and take care of this one. It basically, Blair, how are you? I didn't mean to just rattle your chain there right quick, but basically what happened was a grant that I guess didn't come in. We hadn't spent the money, but the money's here now, so just bookkeeping basically to get everything balanced out for next fiscal year. So.
Okay.
And I will say something too. This is the only two budget amendments coming out of 2021, so good
really
job. Good job, people. Excellent.
Okay.
I make a motion that we approve budget amendment number 2, item 9.
I'll second that.
Have a motion in 2 seconds.
Setzer?
Aye.
Swager?
Aye.
Alvedras?
Aye.
Sanchez?
Aye.
Peterson?
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Agenda item number 10 is discussion and possible action to approve a contract with Color Storm Media for marketing as recommended by the Convention and Tourism Board.
During the December 2nd, 2021 meeting, the Convention and Tourism Board met and approved an annual contract to Color Storm Media. George, the owner and operator of Color Storm Media, will be tasked with developing new marketing documentation, digital media, and a tourism video. Y'all have the full contract that was submitted. If there's any questions, Mr. George is here.
If I may, before you ask questions, if I can go over it just right quick so we can kind of give you a rundown of what we plan on doing and kind of the objective and the real aim of what we were doing. When I met Sheila, she and I sat down initially and we talked about what we could do probably 14 to 16 months ago. The idea came about, and we kind of stole the idea from her, to take the My Guyman Live and produce something with that. Initially, what she was looking for and what the city of Guyman, or she thought the city of Guyman was looking for, was a way to enhance the visual aspect, the way Guyman is perceived whenever you produce something in print or digital, wherever it may be. And so that's the number one item on there that we would do. We said that we would basically touch anything that she or the city of Guyman related to tourism and visitors or things around the city of Guyman. Whenever people see them, that they would be not necessarily odd, but at least moved in that direction, so it would be a professional presentation. From there, we spoke of other things, and 2 through 4, I believe, all kind of touch on the My Guyman Live app. The idea there was to produce something that when you came to a city, you would be able to go one centralized location and see kind of what's available, where to eat, where to stay, without having to look through all these different things and utilize Google, which sometimes is accurate and sometimes it's not, and things along those lines. But it would serve twofold. Instead of just strictly being something for visitors, we wanted it to be event-centered around what is happening in and around Guyman for people within the community to be able to utilize it as well. So it serves as one centralized source. Right now, it's a PWA, which is nothing more than a web app. We're discussing whether or not it makes sense to take it to a native app status where you download it and actually store it on your device. In that, we have a few other things going on, but they're listed there. Other things that we'd like to do is complete item 5, which would allow us to take a few drones, not take them up real high where we violate airspace or anything like that. We wouldn't be real high, to capture actual virtual tours of the city of Guyman and be able to utilize that. One, because it's kind of neat and crafty and people find it impressive, but 2, when the city, for economic development purposes or any other purpose that makes sense, we can actually place videos inside of those, content explaining here's this, here's that. So to give you an idea, it's kind of like a Google map. You could walk through a 3D tour on a Google map, but you do it from space, and from that space up there, we can control what's on there. Then item 6, we're looking to capture, which is very similar to item 1, but we would be capturing aerial and grounded content for production. As she said, Sheila had mentioned to me that she would like to have a video for marketing purposes, to have the availability to show other people that she could bring to town, kind of certain areas of town and why they're poised for growth or ideal for them, something along those lines. We did throw some other things in there. Item 7, we right now are building an infrastructure that's a separate entity, but it is under the umbrella of Color Storm Media, referred to as the Hometown Directories. And what we're doing there is taking televisions like this and we're placing a little box on there that gives us access by Wi-Fi to place ads and other content on there throughout southwest Kansas and the Oklahoma Panhandle. And then we don't know how far we'll go into the Texas Panhandle, but the idea is to be able to place one item on there, whether it's an ad for a business or whether it's an event, something happening within Guyman or other locations, and be able to see what's going on within this entire region to kind of tie a cohesiveness together for the whole area. Item 8 is brand new, so we put Explore on there, but we would like to go ahead and create a social media syndication. In other words, have a series of pages that are managed and controlled by certain key people within the community they can actually update those with a separate platform, so they don't have to be on Facebook and Instagram and whatnot. They can actually do it from one platform and go to all these different pages all at the same time simultaneously. And then, of course, we have to have a place to host it, so we would take care of the hosting on that. I don't know if all of that makes sense or if I simplified it to where what we're actually trying to do or not, but if you have questions, I'd be happy to answer them for you now.
So I see this term is for a year. Is that
We'd
correct?
get married for 1 year, yes, sir.
So, do you provide any proprietary software that if the city were to take this and then moving forward in 12 months, we would be locked out of?
Here's how we work. So initially, whenever I started doing business about 15 years ago, I ran into some companies that I had to use their software in order to get my stuff done. And they would lock me and my clients up into 3, 4, 5-year contracts. I don't like that. So realistically, the way we operate typically with small businesses is we go month to month. We don't ask you for a long-term commitment. If you want to get divorced in a month or break up in a month, we just do so. But here in this case, because of the way city stuff is structured, we went ahead and said for 1 year on a year-to-year basis. Then we decided to go quarterly after that first year. So you're not locked into us, no. But there is some software and some stuff that is proprietary to us that we utilize. But here's how we work also in that aspect. We don't copyright anything for our use or try to sue anybody for our copyrights. We do retain a copyright on it, but more so to protect the end consumer. So we would turn that over to you. You have access to all the assets that we have. In fact, this week we're launching a new software that we're managing. We're just testing it right now, but it's pretty close to ready, where we essentially create an account for you with a Dropbox, and whoever you want to have access to that can access that and pull files from there anytime they want. So no, we don't have anything proprietary that we'd turn over to you because it's immaterial, and I can show you how it's done so you can see that I'm not making this up. But yes, you could take our files, our content, and you could take it somewhere else if you wanted to, yes. So no, we're not holding your feet to the fire and keeping you hostage, to answer your question.
You said you would ultimately do all the hosting?
We take care of all hosting. Yes, we like to host ourselves because we know kind of where to do the best hosting, and we don't use cheap hosting. We use Amazon's AWS network.
Okay.
It's elastic and it functions well, and we don't have breakdowns. So we pay a premium for that, but the premium's worth it just in the time that we save.
Does this mean our domain will be changing?
Your domain doesn't change at all. None of this has anything to do with any domain that you guys have control over. The myguymanlife.com domain is registered to us. It is ours, but we don't claim it as ours. If the city of Guyman ever wants to take it from us, we're not going to fight you over it. We'll just turn it over, okay? Yeah, we're not. We try to do good business and be honest and upfront, complete transparency from beginning to end. So it's just how we operate.
So credentials will be shared with whoever is doing the city part of it?
For the myguymanlife.com app, yes, we already have other people in the community already updating that as we go.
Okay.
Right now. So right now, actually, we're in the process of building the back end. So the front end is what the consumer sees. Whoever's going to come to the myguymanlife.com app, the front end is one thing. We're actually building this in such a way that we're not the only ones that have control over it. We're actually going to be able to create accounts and give people access to make updates and modify and edit. We just found that working as a team works a lot better that way, and people get stuff done quicker because they don't have to wait on us for a week or two before we get to it. So,
what type of training is required? Do people need to know HTML5 or, I mean,
no,
pretty app driven?
There is a benefit to knowing code, yes, but our platforms are designed to be about 98% code free. If you do run into a coding issue, we have a support team that will back you up, absolutely.
Okay.
We work all as independent contractors, but we do have a network of about 20 to
So your
30,000.
support team, are they local or are they
I'm local. I've got another
offshore?
gentleman that's local. I've got actually 2 other gentlemen that are local, and then we have some regional people. And I try to live within the Dodge City, Kansas, and south. I tried not to go too further south than Guyman, Oklahoma, but occasionally we are forced outside of that to do a little extra. And we'll do a little bit, but we don't want to leave too far because then it obstructs our ability to be good at what we do. So it's just kind of the way we live.
How many clients you have currently?
In Guyman alone?
Yes.
I don't know, 30, 35-ish.
Okay.
Probably. I don't know, honestly. I don't have an accurate number.
I know this has been on the agenda one other time, and we had some of those questions. And I thank you for your time for being here.
Yeah, one of the questions was, we were a little concerned about the lump sum payment up front.
Yeah. The lump sum payment, the reason for that, when we discussed this, it was initially, this is experimental for us. The way we kind of worded this behind closed doors was we would be a marketing manager kind of sorts. But instead of being a full-time marketing manager for the city of Guyman and coming in here and saying, hey, I need a $60,000, $80,000 salary, then you got to pay all these benefits and all this other stuff. When we discussed it, we said, well, we probably don't need a 40-hour work week to be able to do what we need to do. So if we broke it up and we said, realistically, we come in and we do a few hours here and there every week when we're in town anyway, we're able to aggregate all these assets and do a good job anyway. We created a fractional marketing manager package, and that's kind of how we put it in here. So we have right now, in theory, we have a lot of labor in here, but the $30,000 up front, the idea for it was so that we could build the infrastructure of the highway. Once it's built, then we're able to be much more efficient, I guess, fiscally, if that answers your question.
It sounds like to me that someone could make the argument that we're saving money by not hiring someone full-time to do this, because we did talk about doing that for the city at one point, is hiring someone to do this full-time.
Yes.
This actually saves us money in the end.
Yeah, you said it for it.
And it's all coming out of the hotel motel tax, just to
Yeah.
make that publicly stated.
Actually, $30,000, the reason why it was one large sum is because they were trying to get it into last fiscal year, whenever we had our convention and tourism meeting, that they approved it December the 8th, I believe it's 8th or maybe the 2nd, I could be lying to you. But they wanted to kind of get all of those funds allocated for last fiscal year so that we were able to touch on those funds since we had already been using some of his services through October, November, and as well as December. So initially, that's why we set the large lump sum of $30,000 was because we wanted to do it for last fiscal year's dollars. But since it's kind of correlated into 2022, it's up to you at that point. But he was up to it, and he said this during our convention and tourism meeting, he's up to doing quarterly if that's something that we're more comfortable with as well.
I noticed on item one and item 6 that additional fees will apply.
Okay. This is why here. Okay, so number one, we're not opposed to producing all this content for you, but if you're going to go and produce 500,000 sheets of something, we're not going to make it on the funds that are there.
Right.
So we kept all of those out on the side. Whether you do them with us, we don't do them anyway. We outsource them and utilize big print agencies. Or you can outsource it anywhere. We'll prep the files in such a way that it's not hard to do wherever you'd like. Same thing on 6. So if you decide to run like a Hulu ad, I don't have any padding in there for how many ads you're going to run. So that's why it's in there built like that. I wanted to make that clear, so I'm glad you brought that up, actually.
How many other city entities do you work for?
As Color Storm Media, we work, indirectly for cities, we do quite a bit.
How many do you actually work for?
Civic organizations for me, we didn't get into until last year, so it's brand new for us. City, school district, colleges, government bodies like that, all of this is new for us, this vertical. 2022 will be our second year of doing all of this.
So you have no cities?
I have the city of Guyman. I've worked in the city of Guyman, yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Right now, we're in talks with Finney County, which is Garden City's county in Kansas. Dodge City Community College is on our agenda. Seward County Community College is on our agenda. Their foundation is already a client. But that was, we hadn't pushed it real hard because we wanted to make sure we were able to handle it ourselves before trying to jump both feet in and end up drowning, so.
Do you do anything with the casino?
We may have done a project for the casino, but I wouldn't have done it. Maybe one of the other guys did, but we haven't done a whole lot with the casino. We have talked to Allison up there about doing some things for the casino, but I think they're waiting until the leaves come back on the trees and things like that, so it looks pretty.
I guess this question would be for Sheila and her staff. Did we put this out and ask for anybody else to give us any quotes, whatever? Has this been publicized so we could look at other providers?
Well, it wasn't publicized. We did go after bids. This is something that the Convention and Tourism we've been working with, doing for probably 2 years or longer since I've been here. We've went out a few times. We did some small presentations, and I know that they were interested in what George was doing because he actually works with the city of Guyman currently. He's the one that hosts our website. We're able to do our website as well as with the chamber and with the school here. So somebody asked if he could go and speak with them, somebody off the board. So that's when we arranged for him to go out there and speak with them directly. Because they were kind of interested in the product that he's done this far.
Sergio, you're kind of an expert on this.
Well, I wouldn't say expert, but, I mean, having, not necessarily rebranding, but doing your web applications nowadays and getting them all on a linear platform out to, because we're just trying to, this is for convention and tourism, you know, so let's not forget about that. We're trying to attract people to come here. I think the technology is there to back this, and I like the idea that it's after a year it'd be month to month. It becomes month to month.
We broke it down to quarterly.
Okay,
But if you want to go
so
month to month,
see, so that's the idea of implementing this and getting it integrated into Guyman, and the rebranding. I think we need a refresher. And you know, to tell you the truth, we asked last time this came to council. We asked for other bids, and if that was done and nobody else submitted a bid, then I think it would be my opinion that I would feel comfortable in moving forward with this.
Do we have a way to track to see if this is beneficial for the community?
There is. I mean, like she was going to say, anything digital for the most part, we can track about anywhere from 70 to 95% of devices, depending on how people's devices are set up. So no analytics are true, 100%. But yes, we carry our own analytics, but we utilize outside analytics like Google Analytics or something like that. I don't own a piece of stock in Google or anything like that. So realistically, I have no loss or no gain from telling you to use Google Analytics or anything else. But if you want access to whatever we can give you access to, we'll give you access to all the analytics. Realistically, the way what we've learned to do is we've learned to hone in and feel and ask people and learn from the community what's being said. I mean, we don't want to deliver a bad product at all. I don't want a bad name for us. So even that, if you guys would have suggestions, I'll take them and we'll try to implement whatever we can within reason. But you're going to get better analytics from actually talking to the public than you are strict numbers. Numbers sometimes don't tell the whole story. But
Yeah, and I think we'll get a clear picture of how well this works after a year if we start going to these public events. We have to turn in numbers when we get grants from the Oklahoma Arts Council. So when we get those numbers, we have to plug in how many people we knew that we talked to were from out of town. And when we see those numbers go up, we'll see how well this works, if we see the numbers go up.
And this is coming out of the convention tourism budget, is that correct?
That's my understanding, yes.
I've got I guess the problem I've got a real problem with the 30,000 up front. As a city, we're the stewards of the taxpayers' money, and what if we pay you 30 grand, and what's the guarantee you're still going to be here in a year?
You have no guarantee. I mean, like any other company.
So I would prefer that if we do this, that we do it like we do with the rest of our providers on a monthly basis. Can you work with that?
I can. If you'd help us a little bit, maybe give us a little bit more up front. We have approximately $9,700 invested right now in just the My Guyman Life app alone, not including anything else that we've done. If you'd help us a little bit at first and then ease it, it would help us significantly. But if not, we'll still do whatever it is.
I'm sure there's concessions to be made. It's just,
yeah.
You know, I guess I'm kind of concerned about paying for something before you receive the value for the payment.
Yeah, we started in 2009. I've been to zero on 2 occasions, so I've done it. I've gone and worked a part-time job so I could support my little habit here.
Mayor, if we
thing,
do agree on this, or would you be okay with 50 and 50?
Not on a monthly.
You would be on a monthly?
That's how we do nearly everything else. I don't know, Mr. Petty, what would your opinion be?
Whether you want to do
Well,
it month.
they're proposing a lump sum for 1 year's term.
Yeah.
And I would prefer we do it on a monthly basis, just for the protection of the city.
That's really administrative. I mean, you've got your discretion to do it either way. That's
That's the way I feel about it.
No, I
Just,
absolutely, I
you know,
understand totally. I
it's-
totally get it. Anybody that stands up here though and offers you something like this, I mean, they could go broke the next day. It's not, I mean, I'm going to be very straight with you. I don't, we don't need this money to survive. That's not what I'm here for. This is, like I said, experimental for us to make another step and possibly move into another city and help them out as well. But however you feel comfortable. I mean, I'm not opposed to whatever at the end of the day, so.
Yes, Mike.
I've got a question. A question with the CT funds. I mean, we're talking a different set of funds.
Right.
And so we'd have to, one way or the other, it's going to have to come back over into the general and come back out where we go ahead and pay it. So initially, we'll have to transfer 30,000 out of the CT into the general fund. No?
But they have their own expense accounts, that's why you've got to have.
Well, but still, the city council has to approve that expenditure. So do we pay that out of CT monthly?
Yeah, well.
I think that's a question that we need to, if that's how the council wants to do it monthly.
Well,
I just-
that's just what I prefer.
An accounting, it's an accounting issue,
Yeah.
like Mr. Petty said, so.
Right.
You say you've got
I just wasn't ready for it.
9,700.
We have approximately, in the My Guyman Life app platform, we have
make-
approximately
we got a
97. We
contract.
expect
Yeah.
to stop around 13 once we have the back end complete, and then we'll just see kind of where it evolves from there. But that's what we have allotted as of right
And-
now.
And I'll back up. If we, let's say, if we approve this and go forward, there may be at the front end, there may be some months there's more expenses that upon whatever negotiation or agreement, we could, I'm not against paying you
Yeah.
for things we've already received the value for. I
Yeah,
guess
no.
that's my whole point.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're doing your due diligence and saying, hey, are you going to go broke? Are you going to be gone tomorrow? Things like that. I get that. I totally understand. I know where you're coming from. I mean, there's a certain amount of comfort and faith that you put in someone, and I get that. So however you feel comfortable, I mean, I'm just going to tell you what we've done to date.
Could
so.
we do 10 and then split the other 20 monthly?
I think we can work it however it works for them. I just don't want one
Right.
check. Is my deal.
What do you,
In my opinion, I'm sitting at the chair of the Arts and Humanities Commission, and so if we were to go ahead and organize an event and then earmark money that we already had set aside from the city to do an event, and we had to pay everybody out, and then you guys were like, whoa, let's pay monthly, not all in one sum, that would only make our lives more difficult. $30,000 is a drop in the bucket for marketing, because most companies want to market themselves at what, 10 to 15% of their revenue, and this is not even close to that. So, and we've already addressed the fact that marketing is a big issue for the city of Guyman, and it's something we really need to focus on. So I think getting hung up on a lump sum of $30,000 is really, I think it's kind of silly at this point, because A, we need to do it. B, Guyman Convention and Tourism has already decided, let's pay the $30,000. That's kind of their money to say so, even though we are the last wall of defense on that. So as far as I'm concerned, Convention and Tourism thinks this is a good idea. That's their board says it's a good idea. If we think it's a good idea, let's go forward with it.
Well, one of the things also, when we tabled it, best of my remembrance, when we tabled it the last time, it was, we're going to table, but we would like for you folks to come back and give us a live demonstration of what you're going to do or what you've done for somebody. And I haven't seen that.
Yeah, do we have access to these?
Do what?
Yes,
Can
you
you just
do.
access?
The examples are in the attachment.
Yeah.
You can go right quick. It won't look pretty on this screen, but you could go to myguymanlife.com. You can see the app itself. We can look at some virtual tour technology that's out there, and we could look at those types of things if that's okay. That might give you a little bit more of a sense of trust, I guess, to see what we're doing.
All right.
see, I'm kind
So
of,
this is designed for mobile, so it's not going to look good on this screen, okay? But here on the far left, you'll see the drop-down menu. You can scroll there if you'd like. I'm not sure who's controlling that. But here on the left, we kind of started to create like a yellow pages type of phone book structure. But at the very top, you'll see things to do. That things to do at the very, very top, what it is it'll give you a list of events and activities in and around the Guyman area. And you can break it off by venue, by category, those types of things here. We're going to give access or plan to give access to anybody that we feel needs to have access to be able to upload their own events in here. This is super duper easy to update. It's not even our app that's built to do this. It's a very inexpensive app that lets, I mean, there's no learning curve. It's just start, plug and play. It's very, very easy. But then on the left, if you'll go back down to that navigation menu and select one of those, it doesn't matter, Guyman or Parks, that's mine too. Each one of them will have their own. You see the little Google icon underneath each one of those. That'll give you driving directions or directions to each location. Businesses themselves will have their phone numbers, websites, social media channels, content, easy ways to communicate with local, actually updated content instead of having to rely on Google, which sometimes is and sometimes isn't easy to use depending on who the party is. And then if a business closes and another opens, sometimes Google crosses information. And it's not costly, it's just somebody that has to know how to go in there and be able to update that stuff. But here, this is still in development, so there's not a whole lot of stuff in here. But if you pick a different one, let's stick with a different category of the one.
On those dine-ins, how are you thinking of developing those? Because like, if that's my business, you're not promoting my business kind of thing.
It's not, this isn't complete, it's a work in progress. It's
Okay.
not, let's go to another one that is done. I don't know which one, let's just scroll here. Let's go shop Guyman maybe. I know it's don't have it either. You know which category you have Humanities that has something on it?
Maybe the fast food.
Fast food.
I think we kind of backtracked on initially filling all this because we wanted to make that
Yeah. I don't know that it's our job.
On all of them? Okay. Let's find a different one. I know what he was referring to here, every time we put one of these on there and somebody clicks on them, they're using a little bit of our data, basically like gasoline every time they use them. And since we hadn't had any funding, we just hadn't put them in there. But yes, it is coming, those types of things. Let me put you on a different one. So you can see virtual tour content. If you will go to, sponsors, towards the bottom, I'm sorry. You'll be able to see one live. So app sponsored. Okay, so there's one right there that has a Facebook icon and a phone icon. If they click those, it'll actually take that action. We're not limited to those buttons. There's a few right there that have a ton of buttons right there. So all of those, I think actually that's all the 7 links that we currently have that we can outbound to. So if you click any of those, it'll actually go where it's supposed to go. And if I can show you a little bit about virtual tours, let's go to, would you mind going to swim@parrotcove.com for me?
What'd you say?
swim@parrotcove.com.
P-E-R-R?
Parrotcove, parrotcove.com.
Yeah,
This,
oh yeah.
Cove, C-O-V is in Victor.
That's awesome.
At the end. Or just search Parrot Cove, that'll be fine too.
Parrot code?
Cove, C-O-V-E.
Cove, C-O-V is in Victor, yeah.
Parrot Cove, C-O-V-E.
Oh, right there, that one, right there. So that one right there at the very top, Swim at Parrot Cove. If you will click on the drop-down menu on the upper right-hand side, and there should be a link here for virtual tour. If you'll keep scrolling, right
There it is.
virtual tour, it'll take you to their virtual tour. This is actually one of the first virtual tours that we launched, and it's now on our 2nd generation platform. But here, if you'll click over the image that's moving and scroll left or right and just hold that button down while you move. So click and hold, and you can navigate around. And that shows you the actual virtual tour. So it's as if though you're in space there. Our objective with this, and I can't remember where we have some listed, but we have some skyscapes. So we're taking them from up above, from a sky view, so you're actually able to see from above. And then you're able to drop down into the locations. Our goal with this is, one, for economic development purposes, for us and for the challenge, and to be a bit more beneficial for the businesses, would be, if you see that arrow at the entrance, if you'll click that little up arrow with the circle around it, small businesses in town, or large, small to medium-sized businesses, would be able to allow navigation into their building and actually be inside of it. Then it leaves the door wide open for them if they wanted to embed a video, embed a PDF file, just to show off something, some particular part or aspect of their business. It would all be built in here. And this right here is proprietary software. This is software that we built on our own with the development team, so that we would have control over what we have here. This one does not have it because they don't have a need for it, but you have the ability to go live. So if I'm a demonstrator here of this location or a business owner, I could actually go live and have a person on FaceTime on my phone, basically, and be able to take over each other's devices while we're looking over the location itself. So we have it right now set to, I believe, up to 4 people it supports in bandwidth. We have it unlimited, but it really only supports 3 to 4 people before it starts to crackle and break down. So realistically, about 4 people would be.
Is this in Garden City?
Yes.
This one is in Garden City, yes, sir. Yeah.
Now, did the city, Garden City, pay for this, or did?
This is a private entity. This is Parrot Cove Water Park. They're a private indoor water park adjacent to, I can't remember. I want to say it's an Ascend Hotel. I just don't know which one.
So the businesses that we have on our My Guyman Life app would have this kind of same setup?
Yeah, by using some of these funds here, we're able to build the infrastructure. So if we can build the highway, like over the top here, then the small business, it becomes very inexpensive. Something like this, $1,500, $1,800, $2,000 is very normal. We're hoping to be able to do this for about $350 for a small business.
Okay.
So essentially, we want to assume, and that would just be labor costs primarily. We're basically just looking at building the backbone with some help from the city of Guyman. Just like the My Guyman Life, the Hometown Directories, which is where we're replacing the digital displays throughout Southwest Kansas and the Oklahoma Panhandle. When one ad goes up, it shows up on all locations simultaneously. So with doing that, a little bit of this money here would allow us to do some discounts there for the community here as well. And those are all things that we talked about, again, behind closed doors. But the idea is just to do good business, expand upon what we're good at, and try to help a city. And then we'll just kind of see where it goes from there.
Have you?
I don't have an ambition of leaving liberal Kansas or leaving the small towns on their own. I come from small business, so my heart is in small business. So even if we do some bigger stuff, I intend to, my core is right here, the heart of the people that work hard. So,
Have you approached Main Street Guyman or the Chamber?
the Chamber of Commerce is a customer of ours, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes. Main Street Guyman, we've been in talks, but I'm not sure exactly what direction we're going to go there or if we're going to do anything there. So. We'll see.
You bring up a good point. I mean, people wanting to move here, they'd like to see that. I mean, that's a good central location for a page like that for a virtual tour.
That's our goal. Yeah, and I'm not saying we're perfect. I mean, we may fail you somewhere in here, but I mean, we'll do our best to deliver on everything that we've said here and then some.
So if we do this deal, so Mike, you'll work with them to write a contract for their services?
I think the contract's already, yeah.
Or is it already in there?
I don't know. I mean, we don't have like a big team of lawyers or anything. I took 2 years of law school to learn how to write contracts and do some other things before I realized I hated it, so.
I just want to make sure it's been reviewed.
Yep, Mr. Petty, I think, didn't you review?
Yeah, the only comment, I don't have any problem with the statement of work that's been provided, but there's a provision in there that it's subject to a master client services agreement, which controls.
Yeah.
And I went online and read that, and there are a couple of provisions I'd like to see amended. So, I mean, if you wanted to do this, you could go ahead and approve it subject to some amendments, I would suggest. I don't think they'll have any problem with them, but.
No, the only reason we have a contract is years back I had an insurance company, and the insurance company said I had to have a statement of work and a master client services agreement, so I went that route and built it like this. I have no formal legal training, so I'd love your help.
Yeah, I don't think they'll have a problem with what I'd suggest, but there's just a few things.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I don't even care if something's signed. I've stood here with my face forward to tell you I'm going to do the best I can, and that's what we're going to do. So.
Okay.
Any other questions, discussion?
No, I think we need it. I think it's going to be a good, we need to draw businesses. This is going to be a tool that we're going to utilize for that.
Do we have, and this is just, again, we're having a general discussion, so do we have any way, say, I can use fancy words, but like a matrix or whatever to determine the success of this program?
That'd be the analytics we were talking about earlier.
Analytics, okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
Let's try it and see what happens.
All right, well, I'll make a motion to approve a contract with Color Store Media for marketing as recommended by the Convention and Tourism Board with any exceptions of provisions that need to be made by Mr. Petty.
Second.
Have a motion and a second?
Sanchez.
Aye.
Swager.
Aye.
Setzer.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Peterson.
Have I with some reservations. Let's put it that way. Okay, thank you. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, let's get back to where we need to go. Agenda item number 11 is discussion and possible action to approve the agreement between Oklahoma Panhandle State University, OPSU, and the City of Guyman for OPSU's terms of use for Guyman's Nash Soccer Complex. And I think this is what Mr. Petty's worked out with their attorneys. I'm not sure. Is that the case?
Yeah, I'm good with it. It's just, the OPSU needed it for the Board of Regents so they could authorize the payment.
Is, that one paragraph at the beginning of the term, Panhandle State will provide Guyman a proposed schedule for reservations of areas of Nash Soccer Complex for purpose to reserve for its use during the term of this agreement. Can they change that? Can they call and say, we've decided we need Thursday and Friday next week?
They would only have reserved what they do at the front of the year. I suppose if there was an opening, that could be accommodated,
Right.
fine, but if it had been booked by somebody else, too bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was my concern, was
Yeah.
would they be able to kick somebody else off if?
No, they would have a preference on that schedule reserved at the front of the year,
Okay.
but then it would be just by whatever opened up for them.
Hi, I'm sorry, I'm Liz McMurphy with Oklahoma Panhandle State. I'm the Vice President of Fiscal Affairs, and Mike and I had visited several times today about maybe the concern for this section in the agreement. We have reserved a time slot, but we are flexible if something comes up and there are other requests for the time slot that we have, we would be willing to, if someone wants to contact our athletic director, and we can facilitate rescheduling if we don't have any other issues with that. So we're flexible with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's nice we have 3 fields, so we can make this even more flexible.
Anybody have any other questions or you have any other input? Liz?
If you have any questions,
I don't have any questions, but thank you for our conversations. It's great to communicate.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Great.
So,
Thank you.
That's there for partnerships, and we need to utilize it as such.
so do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the agreement between Oklahoma Panhandle State University, City of Guyman, OPSU's terms of use, Guyman's Nash Soccer Complex, item 11.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second?
Setzer.
Aye.
Swager.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Agenda item number 12 is discussion and possible action to approve the purchase of a replacement canine for the police department.
Mayor, Chief Art, they're helping the sheriff's office on the thing today, so he apologizes for not being here, but in your packet, it's time to replace, they retired the canine Dano, and it's basically time to get another one. This is going to be paid by the forfeiture funds out of the district attorney administrated. So I will tell you, it surprised me, the cost of the dogs and the canines are coming down. I mean, the last dog I looked at was excess of $25,000 or something like that. But they've used this company before. There's all kinds of guarantees with the dog. It stays healthy, and I mean, it's really good. It's a really good company.
We have really great handlers too, so.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt about that.
So your and their recommendation is to approve.
Please.
I make a motion that we approve the purchase of replacement canine for the police department, item 12.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Swager.
Aye.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Setzer.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Agenda item number 13 is discussion and possible action on awarding the bid for the sale of the surplus game reserve animals.
Mr. Hernandez is not here. We received one bid. I think we sent out 4 bid packets, maybe 5 bid packets, but the bid were opened up the 1st of February to just the single bid from Don Blackburn in the amount of $2,925. Basically just thinning out the herd a little bit. I'd recommend this be a good bid to accept.
Make a motion that we award the bid, sell surplus game reserve, at the discretion of the city manager, item 13.
I second that.
Have a motion and a second.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Swager.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Setzer.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Agenda item number 14 is discussion and possible action to approve funding for the Artist Incubation Christmas Open House 2021 in the amount of $3,000 as recommended by the Convention and Tourism.
During their November 18th meeting, the special meeting Convention Tourism voted to approve the Artist Incubation Christmas Open House for the carriages of $3,000. The total amount was $4,000, but they only need $3,000 because they received a $1,000 grant from a sponsorship, from another local business. The reason why it's taken so long, we were waiting on meeting minutes from that meeting to be approved. They were approved a couple weeks ago, so now it's here just as due diligence.
Okay. Any comments, discussion?
Make a motion that we approve funding for Artist Incubation Christmas Open House 2021, amount of $3,000, item 14.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second.
Setzer.
Aye.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Swager.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Agenda item number 15 is discussion and possible action to approve Audrey Brooks' application to the Guyman Area Arts and Humanities Commission as recommended by the Arts and Humanities Commission. Ms.
During the
Martin.
November 29th meeting, the Guyman Area Arts and Humanities Council voted to accept Ms. Audrey Brooks' application to the board as a non-voting member at the moment. We have somebody that is going to be removed off of, or terming out. So she will be a voting member as of January. She was a voting member.
Make a motion that we approve Audrey Brooks' application, Guyman Area Arts and Humanities Commission, as recommended by the Arts and Humanities Commission, item 15.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Swager.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Setzer.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Agenda item number 16 is discussion and possible action to approve Glenda Barbosa's application for renewal to the Convention and Tourism Board. She's made her intent known she'd like to stay on there. Okay. Have
Make a motion that we approve Glenda Barbosa's application to renewal, Convention and Tourism Board, item 16.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Swager.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Setzer.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Agenda item 17 is discussion and possible action to approve the Business Improvement Grant Program as recommended by the Convention and Tourism Board.
This is something that is presented to council. I know Mr. Petty has already reviewed it a few times, and we submitted to Convention and Tourism. So it's a business improvement grant. The grant will help with our existing businesses here in Guyman for improvements. The grant could be used for facade, property, and landscaping improvements with a match of up to $5,000 and a sign grant of up to $1,500. All matching grant, we have decided that it would be issued once a quarter. So the applicants would submit the grants January through March, and then in April's meeting, that's when one or multiple will be selected at that point, and then pretty much to follow the same schedule throughout the year on a quarterly basis. We did $2,500, so $20,000 being for the facade portion or the big grant portion of the facade, property, and landscaping, and $5,000 will be allocated for any sign grants. And attached is the business improvement grant program guidelines and criteria of what would be accepted, and as well as the application, and it has gone through the legal process, so there's a lot of there's like 10 pages here of legal words. So I know that last time there was some reservation because we were going through the pandemic, but this was something that was presented to council before. Is there any questions that y'all have about the program?
I think one big improvement has been the property improvement. That's something that I know this has been discussed several times, but the parking lots in this city need to be fixed, and this could help a lot, I think.
And the reason why we introduced this in the first place, we spent, you can't see it, but we had a streetscape plan that we are planning to kind of redevelop our downtown. We've started on some of it, doing just like all of the infrastructure assessments. And we kind of wanted to help some of our citizens and our business owners, to help with small improvements, showing that we have some skin in the game so they can put some skin in the game, so we can help with the facade or their parking lot, or even having that landscape in downtown, as well as sign improvements.
Any questions or discussion?
Sheila, Ms. Martin, congratulations on your certification
you.
recently. And can you tell me how many grants we applied for in 2021 total?
I don't know, we probably, like how many we applied for, how many we received.
Let's just say apply, because the application process, I don't know, it takes a lot.
It does.
It takes a lot of time, takes a lot of.
I know, I've done about 6 of them roughly.
Okay.
I don't know, I know that there was some for the ride. They've done some federal grants that they've applied for. I'm not sure how many though, I don't want to speak on them. I've done about 6, and we've gotten 4, and 2 we've been waitlisted, and hopefully they're making a decision second to third quarter of this year. One is going to be for the infrastructure for the golf course, and the other one's the infrastructure for the wastewater lagoons.
Understood. No, I just wanted to bring it to council's attention. That takes a lot of work. Thank you. And
Thank you.
Does that
keep doing a
include the
good job.
OAC grants that you apply for? as
No.
well? Yeah, see, there's
There-
more.
Yeah.
There's more
Well,
than just
those
the
are like the
6.
baby
Yeah.
grants.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are only like 10 pages instead of 60 or 80.
Okay.
And also the Department of Commerce on the infrastructure, you
And
just
we
awarded
received that one this
last
year.
week
Yes,
by the
that's the one we
Department
did
of
this year.
Commerce to evaluate everything out in the industrial park. That's big.
Yeah, it's a $24,000
Good
to assess our industrial park to help make plans, and so we got awarded that grant.
Last week?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, first this week.
No, it was last week.
Gotcha.
Okay, any other questions, discussion?
I'd like to make the motion that we approve the Business Improvement Grant Program as recommended by Convention and Tourism Board, item 17.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second.
Setzer?
Aye.
Swager?
Aye.
Alvedras?
Aye.
Sanchez?
Aye.
Peterson?
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Okay. Agenda item number 18, public comments and announcements. Any public comments and announcements?
Good evening. You're already familiar with Joanne Costner, and if you're not, you should be, as her
Okay.
her dad.
Could you tell us who you are?
Yes,
and-
my name is Trina
and your
Mosier, I'm
legal
sorry.
address, And
Yes,
your
I'm-
legal address.
And my address?
Where do you live at?
Oh, 1418 Rimrock Drive,
Okay.
here in Guyman. My name is Trina Mosier, as I just said, but if you don't know Joanne, her father retired from the city of Guyman after 10 years. Her husband retired from the city of Guyman after 28 years, and his brother Marvin Costner retired from the city of Guyman after 20 years of service. I've taken initiative to help her in the challenges that she's faced with the city regarding her property on East Street. As you can visibly see, the property is clean and bare. It took a lot of work outside of any work contracted by the city to do so. I'm sure that each of you, along with pertinent members, have received email correspondence from Sean Glidewell, the former code enforcement officer that investigated and brought this case before you, all to decide the city's best interest regarding Joanne's property. In that email, of which I received a copy, Mr. Glidewell pointed out many things that needed to be discussed as a discussion or action item on the next city council agenda. Collectively, Joanne and I, as her younger representative, insist and demand that this matter be set on the next city council meeting agenda for discussion and action. Here's a copy of the said email in addition to other correspondence between Mr. Shannon and Mr. Glidewell in regard to Ms. Costner's property. I don't know if you want this.
You can keep that. We don't need that.
You all should have copies. We seek and request that this council fully set aside any prior orders regarding Ms. Costner's property, and any and all liens for costs be forgiven and discharged against her. I've spoken to Mr. Glidewell, and he is willing to be here from 12 hours away, accompanied by representatives from Oklahoma Code Enforcement Association, if necessary, to challenge the city's procedures and actions that were taken on Joanne's case, and multiple others, such as Herbert Metcalf's case, after he resigned from the city of Guyman. Mr. Glidewell has indicated that the city administration and his council would most likely be amenable to discussions internally or in the executive session in order to resolve this matter quietly and effectively, rather than in public forum with his presence. Granted, Joanne, myself, and even Mr. Glidewell are citizens of the United States and can publicly and peacefully stage protest outside of the City Hall entrance of the courthouse steps. All parties would prefer a quiet and peaceful resolution to the matters at hand, and finally to put to rest the now 3 years of stress and hardship that Ms. Costner has endured. We are all good citizens and fellow community members, and as such, we pray we can resolve this matter. In line with that statement, Joanne and I again insist and demand that this matter be set on the next city council meeting agenda and discussion and action. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Any public comments, other public comments and announcements? Any other public comments and announcements? Okay, we'll go on. We have no new business, so we'll stand adjourned as the Guyman City Council. We're going to reconvene as the Guyman Utilities Authority.